I was in shock and disbelief and numb. There are no words to describe the immense pain his actions have caused our family and friends. He brutally kidnapped and murdered my daughter, my baby. He locked her in the car without any way to escape and tore her apart. He stole my chance of even identifying her body in the morgue due to the amount of torture he put her through. Your Honor, I beg of you, I plead of you to deny bail.
A black Chevrolet Impala pulls up. She walks to the rear door. She gets in. That car is not her Uber. Investigators later say the child safety locks in the back were engaged. Cleaning supplies were inside, and her phone would be found in that car when police made a stop the next day. That is how Samantha Josephson's night turned into a case that reshaped ride-sharing safety in America. Close your eyes for 10 seconds and picture the curb. It is 2 a.m. Music leaks from the bars. The sidewalk is jammed. 3 cars slow down in the same stretch where riders cluster. Your screen shows a spinning icon and a make and model that look common in every city. Be honest with yourself. Do you check the license plate before your hand touches the handle every single time? Or are you counting on "it looks right"? Type "plate first" if you always verify. Type "fixing it" if tonight is the night you make that a real habit. Samantha is 21. She is about to graduate from the University of South Carolina. She has been out with friends near a bar many students know. Cameras in that area become the backbone for Think about your own curb routine with friends. Who calls out the plate aloud? Who asks the driver to say your name before anyone climbs in? Who watches traffic so you are not stepping into an active lane? Do you split those jobs, or does one person do all 3? What would make you stop and double check in real life? A missing front plate, an unlit dashboard, a driver who does not say your name first? Put your hard stop in one word below. When they examine the car, they report blood evidence, cleaning products, Samantha's phone, and those engaged child safety locks in the back. Details like that show how a quick curbside moment can become a trap. Person. In July of 2021, a South Carolina jury convicts Nathaniel Rowland of kidnapping and murder. He is sentenced to life in prison. In August of 2024, the Court of Appeals upholds the conviction. The next month, the court denies a bid to rehear the case. The legal chapter is closed in the courts. What remains open is what we learn from it. Here is the part many people miss because it gets reduced to a single line on social media. The defense emphasized that Rowland's DNA was not found on Samantha. They argued the case leaned on circumstantial evidence. Prosecutors answered with the whole of it: the street camera timeline, the traffic stop, what investigators reported finding in and around the vehicle, testimony about cleaning a knife and cleaning the car. Juries do not weigh facts in isolation. They stack them. They ask whether each tile lines up with the next. If you sat in that box for a week and heard that sequence, would the absence of a particular lab match erase what the cameras and the timeline show? Or would you add up everything together? Say which one you would do and why? Most retellings end at the verdict. We are not ending there because Samantha's case triggered 2 important changes. One is about the street, the other is about your phone. South Carolina passed the Samantha L. Josephson Ride-Sharing Safety Act. It criminalizes impersonating a rideshare driver and requires clear identification like visible plate information so riders can confirm they are getting into the right car. That law targets the exact weakness exposed on that curb in 5 points. It is too easy to look ride-share-ish when the curb is crowded and loud and everyone wants out of the cold. Nationally, Congress passed Sami's Law in 2023. It pushes digital verification so passengers can confirm that this exact car is their car before they open the door. It also requires ongoing federal reviews of rider and driver safety, background checks, and what companies are actually doing. That means the safety conversation is not a one-day press conference. It is a set of updates the government expects to revisit with data. Have you seen QR or code-based verification where you live yet? If yes, write "scan first." If not, what would make you trust it? A one-time tutorial, a persistent button in the app, or a short beep from the driver's phone that proves the match? Tell me which one you would actually use. In the weeks after sentencing, the courthouse quieted, but the record remained clear and methodical. Investigators had built the case step by step. The late-night curb in 5 Points, the black Chevrolet Impala easing to a stop, the rear door opening, the short ride no one would witness. The car located by police the next day with signs of swift, purposeful cleaning. Inside were the ordinary objects that tell an extraordinary story. Wipes, cleanser, a phone that shouldn't have been there, and rear doors that wouldn't open from the inside. Within 24 hours, searchers working a rural stretch of Clarendon County found what everyone feared. A medical examiner's work filled the courtroom later with clinical facts, the kind that arrive without drama and land with finality. The prosecution presented the narrative as a chain, not a headline. Cameras in 5 Points framed the approach in the pickup. Officers tied those frames to the Impala stop the next morning. Forensic technicians described stains, fibers, traces that linked car to victim and night to morning. Witnesses filled gaps, where the car went, what was seen, what changed. The defense pointed to what wasn't there, focusing on the absence of the defendant's DNA and calling the rest circumstantial. But the state's mosaic held. Not one tile, the jury decided, but the pattern, approach, entry, confinement, cleanup, discovery. Appeals followed, as they always do. Briefs argued over rulings, over which exhibits jurors should have seen, over how the law. In neighborhoods across the state, porch lights glowed orange, creating a quiet chain of windows and doorways that said a community had seen enough to adopt new habits. The family whose life had been bent around a courtroom learned to stand behind lecterns and in front of cameras, to translate a courtroom record into the language of ordinary nights. Identification, confirmation, and the 10 seconds that separate a safe ride from a fatal one. Elsewhere, the car at the center of the story became a piece of evidence on a list, then an impound line item, then a photograph in a binder. Objects fade from the public view. The record does not. It holds the maps of the 5 Points block with camera angles marked, the transcriptions of testimony about the rear door locks, the receipts for cleaning products purchased too soon after the longest night, the autopsy report that never needs to be read twice to be understood. The sum is not a mystery solved by a twist. It is a human act mapped by the stubborn clarity of routine work. There is a second sum in the aftermath, the way one case changes many. Lawmakers now write statutes with her name attached. City planners talk about lighting at pickup points and the shape of curbs. Universities redesign the end of the night with extra shuttles and new signage. App teams ship updates that make confirmation more visible at the moment it matters. None of it reverses a single minute of March 2019. All of it widens the margin for the next person who stands under neon and looks for a ride. Every case that lingers does so because it exposes something we live with. Samantha's story shows how an ordinary pickup becomes irreversible and how methodical work pulls the truth back into view. The curb is still there, the camera still rolling, the seconds between light and shadow still deciding outcomes. That tension does not fade. It waits at the edge of the frame. So the record stands. A pickup on a city camera, a car found by police, a search in a rural field, a verdict that survived appeal. The rest moves forward, quietly changing how nights end across the country. This chapter closes. The next begins in another city under different lights with clues hiding in plain sight. We will follow the trail, frame by frame, until the pattern appears. Watch closely. The truth is in the details. Subscribe for the next case.